front and center for so long is because of Jeanne Cooper, because of what she brought to the soap and what she did to, for the character of Catherine Chancellor, and how all the other characters that she interacted with on the show, her character interacted with, just made the show what it is. Just like you said, iconic. It's timeless.
Yeah.
And that is, no one lives forever, and we know this. And it's just going to be real interesting how the dynamic of Y&R is going to change, because there's no way it couldn't change. We've lost Jeanne Cooper. Now we've learned since then that, Michelle Stafford's not renewing her contract. She's leaving Y&R. That's two huge blows to Y&R. Love or hate Michelle Stafford's character, Phyllis. No one hates Michelle Stafford, but her character, you got people that love her, you got people that hate the character. And some are kind of on the fence. But in the grand scheme of things, it is, it's one of those things that it's going to be real interesting to see what happens moving forward. And I was very glad that Jess mentioned right out there at the very beginning of the show today that, how they will write that into the story will be addressed in due time. So, for anyone that was wondering. Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I have our first guest here, so we're ready to go.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So we welcome Kate Linder. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello, Kate.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are all of you?
Great.
We're doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Good.
They were just talking about the tribute show as well, and how well it was put together, and how nice it was to see everybody sitting there talking about their memories about Jeanne, and how Jeanne was actually part of the tribute.
Yeah, I thought it was, I'm extremely proud of our show anyway, but nothing made me prouder than today's show, because it was just so beautifully done. I thought it was beautiful, classy, and poignant, and that is just like Jeanne, just like her. So it was so fitting, and it's really hard for me to believe. I still can't believe she's gone. So I really, really miss her.
Oh yeah, as we all do. It's I have to say, Kate, what you guys did in that tribute was like nothing I have ever seen before. I've been to tons of funerals in my lifetime, and been to memorials and tributes for people I've known personally, but that to me was just so eloquent and so well done. And it was nice. The other element to all this was it was nice seeing you guys being who you are, out of character. Unfortunately, the circumstances, brought that about, but it was really nice to see you guys sitting there just having a chat in the C's, living room, great room, and just talking, like friends would about a friend they lost. It was amazing.
Yeah, I so agree with you. I of course, when they just kept shooting, we didn't know how it was going to be put together, and then when I saw it today, it was just so beautifully done. And I know there's a lot more they shot that I believe they're putting on the website. I don't know if it's on there yet, or
not yet.
Pardon?
No, not yet. I saw the first hour, the one that was aired today, but I hadn't seen anything else yet.
Well, they're probably going to add that because I know that they were talking about, because there's a lot of footage. We did this for, several hours, and, of course, they couldn't put all that in 1 hour. There's a lot we talked about that's not in there. So I think that's what they were going to do. But I thought they did an amazing job. I thought it was really, really good.
It was great. And did you guys, after this was filmed and it was edited, did you guys today or prior to today as a cast, come together and view it together for the first time?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah,
we were. No, we hadn't seen it. This was the first. Well, I had not anyway. Seen it before today when it aired. So I've watched it about 5 times already. But, it's hard to I keep watch something, it's hard to watch and then it's hard not to watch, if you know what I mean. So it's just and it was just really interesting to be in that set, in that living room where I've spent 31 years of my life with her, with Jeannie in that room.
Right.
So it's just like she was there. She would have totally loved that. She would have loved the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was very much Jeannie. I mean, you could tell every aspect of today was exactly as she would have wanted it, I do believe. And and it just, I think if as much footage as you guys took for this special, I think if you'd aired it all week on Y&R, there wouldn't have been a Y&R fan out there that would have been mad about that. We would have loved
You know what? I agree with you. And that's interesting.
For the week,
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I think you're right. That could have, there would have been, there's so much to say, but how they did it, too, was just, sometimes less is more as well.
Right.
And, so, I could go on, and I could listen to everyone and see it over and over. But, I think they did a really good job. And I'm almost positive that the rest of that will be shown online. You'll be able to find it eventually.
Now, with Michelle was sitting there with all that jewelry on her knee, was that Jeannie's? From her?
That was some of the jewelry that she wore on the show. So, and it's just oh boy, it was it was, and like there was a thing that like the teapot was there. I mean, just everything that was part of Jeannie and part of the show, and it was all there, and we were all there, and it was really an amazing. I mean, I was really trying to keep it together. I was able to keep it together on camera. People were, breaking down off camera, things you didn't see, because it was a tribute to her, and you just want it to be, understood and strong and together, and yet, you saw you could tell how people felt and the love that everyone has for her. And she and I had a special relationship. It's really hard to describe it in words, because it's like we knew what each other was thinking. She would just look at me when we were in a scene. She would just look at me a certain way, and I just think we had that bond that's really hard to explain.
Right.
And I think it came across, in context of the show. I mean, Esther and Mrs. Chancellor had an incredible relationship. So
before. Go ahead, Pam. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was just going to share with you, Kate, that before you came on the line, I was talking to David, and I was saying, that Y&R, I think one of the magical beauties of Y&R is that through the years, Y&R has always had these families that we've grown with, we've grown to love, we've grown to know, and families that have evolved. And the whole Esther Mrs. C relationship is one of those examples, how you kind of started out as, your character was kind of this meek and mild, easily intimidated by Mrs. C, and then, your character through the years has just evolved into this very strong, very determined character, and we've watched, your character grow as well, which has been really nice, and to see how that dynamic between you and Jeannie, it grew along with your characters.
You are so right, I so appreciate that you brought that up and that you're able to see that as well, and that came across, because I felt that too, and that as we grew, ourselves as people, and the characters grew as well. So they went hand in hand, and it's really something then to see and to look over there and see Liz, who's playing my daughter, to see her in the mix, and and then of course, and Jill and Esther have that relationship as well, which, and like I said in the tribute, one of Esther's things was to make sure that, she would protect Mrs. C at all costs from from everyone, and that includes Jill. So,
right.
Hopefully Esther will still, remain focused in that way,
Well,
yeah,
what do you think?
Pardon?
I'm sorry, Pam. I'm trying to preserve your voice.
Okay.
I don't realize you're going to talk. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. What do you, out of all, I know 31 years is a lot, but what would you say were your most memorable scenes or your most happiest memory of being with her on set, either behind or in front?
Well, the scenes that they show, as far as giving birth, those scenes were unbelievable. But there were, in the kidnapping scenes, twice, when we were kidnapped twice. And also when, I think one of my very favorites, too, was when, Esther answered that ad in the Singles magazine.
Yeah.
And lied and said she was the lady of the house, and then Mrs. Chancellor and Mr. Sterling at the time had to play the maid and the butler. And those were great moments. And, great things to play. I mean, there's magic moments in the theater, and working with Jeannie, were magic moments. Those things just, things just happen. When we worked our scenes, we ran our lines, we rehearsed them, and yet when we went to tape, sometimes things came up that were magic. Like when she called me Esther, that wasn't in the script. She named me. And that
really?
was not in the script. Yeah, she.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she. In the beginning, I didn't have a name, and the scripts would come down and it would just say maid. It didn't say. And one day, we were running our lines, as usual. Then we went to tape. She started calling me Esther, and fortunately, I responded and didn't go, what? Who? So she started calling me that, and then. Other people started calling me that, and the writers started writing it, and that's how Esther got her name. And as far as the last name, Valentine, Bill Bell, we had a national contest for the last name, and Valentine was picked as one of the names. There was a couple other names as well, and he gave me a choice. He came to me with these names. It was, let's see, Esther Valentine, and one other name was Diamond, and then was another name too, which I can't remember what that was. But I picked Valentine because I thought it fit the character, and also I thought it would be good luck because I was married in real life on Valentine's Day, and so that's how So Esther Valentine, and it was good luck, and the fact that Jeannie. This is interesting, too. I mean, Jeannie named her Esther, but Esther was my grandmother's name. And
oh, my gosh.
She did not know that. She did not know that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and at that point. She did after, but not then. She did not know that.
Well, and that's such a neat story that you just shared, because all these years I think a lot of Y&R fans, myself included, would attest that we never knew that you initially didn't have a name. Your character didn't have a name. Could you imagine being on the show 31 years and not having a name?
Oh.
And
yeah, I know.
Thank God Jeannie decided one day just to take it upon herself to name your character. I mean, it grew from there. And I love the fact that Valentine was your character's last name, because Esther has always been the eternal optimist. She's been the one that just believes in love and true love, and it just fit, like you said, it fit the character so perfectly well.
Yeah, absolutely. It really does. And so, and I know that Jeannie would want it. She loved this show. She loved all of you. She loved the fans. She loved everyone, and she, she definitely will want this show to go forward and be bigger and better. But yet she will always be a part of it. I just, somehow she will be a part of it.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just know that in my heart that she will be.
Oh yeah. I
don't know what they have planned, but what they're going to do or what they have planned, but I know it will be good, whatever it is. I don't know at this point, but I know they're figuring that out and putting that all together. And they're written ahead, like on the tribute. I think Jess announces that in the beginning that, in the next few months, that will come up. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm as anxious as everybody else to know what that is.
Oh, yeah.